Hello. Today we're back on the dichotomy of control because, as I was explaining in the last video, that's quite a lot to the dichotomy of control. And as I say, what happens in a lot of with Buddhism and Stoicism, a lot of people take these things and just use them as affirmations without fully understanding them. So I want to spend some time in the dichotomy of control and fully explain it, because when it comes to dealing with anxiety, I think it's very important to distinguish what is within your control and what is not within your control. And one of the things that's not in your control, one of the main things that's not within your control, is the future. The future is uncertain and not ours to control. There's so many factors that determine the future. Like, for instance, the actions of others. You can't control the opinions, thoughts of others, or you can't control the actions of others. You can only control yourself, your own thoughts and your own actions. But your actions will have a huge impact on the lives of others, and their actions will have a huge will impact on yours. And I'll give you an example of this, and that's why there's so many factors that determine the future that you cannot control the future. It's not ours to control. But I'll give you an example of this, because I used to be one of the biggest culprits for trying to control life and trying to control the future. I used to always say, oh, it'll be as I see it, it'll be as I see it. And I used to, some of our greatest disappointments come from reality not meeting our expectations. But I was a fierce man for always trying to control life, trying to force life, trying to impose my will on the world and trying to make it as I think it should be, But I'll give you an example. Back in 2009, I had a lift installation business. It was going very well, but due to the recession then struck in about 2008, there was a recession here in 2008, and I started to worry, oh jeez, what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen to my business and all the rest. But even though I started to get, I wasn't too bad now. I'd never had suffered fear up to this, never had anxiety up to this. So I didn't know what was going on with the head, but I was starting to lose focus on it. But I went to England to work. And when I went to England to work, then I started to get work on major projects, because it was quite good at what I did. I had a good business going. And we started to get projects on, I did all the lifts on the right hand side of Liverpool 1. I did a project in Birmingham, in the Cube in Birmingham. I did a few lifts for the Olympics that time. But as my anxiety got worse, because I kept thinking about the future. What's going to happen to the business? What's going to happen to the next job? Constantly, as the anxiety got worse, I wasn't able to think. So I started to make mistakes. And then when I started to make mistakes, the job started to take me a little bit longer, and they weren't up to the same quality as I had previously always, as I built my reputation on. And when this started happening, I started to lose confidence in myself. But I stayed going, but anxiety started to get worse. And then as the anxiety increased, because as I wasn't getting the same money for the job, saying I couldn't command the same money, and the economy started to get worse, and I started to say, it'll be over. I was worrying about the future. But to make a long story short, I started to take cocaine and I started to drink. So when you started to take cocaine and started to drink, then things started to fall apart. But when things started to fall apart, then it got progressively worse. And then when for instance, I can remember a couple of days where I had no work. I sat in the apartment in Birmingham. It was at that time. I sat in the apartment and used to drink whiskey, snort cocaine, and watch daytime television. But no way would I go home. And I wouldn't go home until everything was gone, because I was so worried about what was going to become into my house, what was going to pay the bills, what was going to happen to the job. And I was so worried about the future that things fell apart. And that even though hindsight is a great thing, when I look back now, the reason I'm telling you this story is, if I had to concentrate on what I was doing and not worry about the future, but just focus on what I was doing that day, and just work as I'd always worked. But how, been suffering in my imagination, worrying about what was going to become me, I would have been able to think, I would have been able to work, and I'd have been able to knock the jobs out in time. Or yes, I would have got a little less money, but I would have been possibly be able to stay and work. But by worrying about the future, I fell apart, and it's my actions. The cocaine and the drinking then obviously had an impact, and everything went tits up. But the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy. You're arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. And that's what the story I've just told you is a perfect example of that. I was trying to arrange what lies in fortune's control, what wasn't up to me, and I was abandoning what lay in my control. I completely fell apart, and my work absolutely fell asunder because I wasn't concentrating on what was within my control, which is the actions today that I could perform today. So the moral of the story is never let the future disturb you. If you have to, you're meeting with the same weapons of reason that today arm you against the present. And that's more or less today's video. I'm just saying that it's a good idea if you're worried about the future. It's a good idea. Don't worry about the future, but if you go home at night and think about your day, which is what I do now, I'll come back again when I'll do another video on expectations and how I came to lose all my expectations. But what I do now is I go home and I think about my day, and I ask myself, what are the delayed consequences of my actions? Are they positive or negative? How will what I did today impact on my future? Or what could the possible consequences be? Will they be positive or negative? And if I think they're going to be negative, I make adjustments for them. Like I modify my behaviour and bring them in alignment with my goals. And that's what I do. Rather than worry about the future, I think about my actions today, and I modify my behaviour and bring it in alignment with my goals. So basically, I stay striving towards my goal, but I don't worry about the outcome because that's not within my control. I just worry about what I did today and what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, until tomorrow's video, mind yourselves. Maybe the next day. I'll talk to you whenever.